Hi y'all, this is Eva from the book blog astripedarmchair.wordpress.com, and I'm here to talk about my library loot for the week. Once again, I got way too many books. Last week I was kind of cranky because I got a lot of nonfiction, and then when I went to read novels I didn't have a lot of choice. So I went to my library's catalog and put a ridiculous amount of novels on hold. So that's what we're going to start with. First up is Lady Chatterley's Lover. I'm sorry about the glare. There we go. By D.H. Lawrence. This is for the Banned Books Week Challenge. Lawrence used to be one of those authors that really scared me, but then Nymeth had me read a short story of his that was like 40 pages long, and I really, really liked it, The Vicar's Daughters. So now I want to read one of his novels. Then A Northern Light by Jennifer Donnelly. I've been hearing great things about this one for a long time. I know that Ty's a big fan, and so it got, on my random rampage, it got thrown in there. A Pale View of the Hills by Kazuo Ishiguro. He's one of my favorite authors, and I haven't read anything by him this year, so it's about time. It's for the Japanese Lit Challenge. Memory and Dream, there we go, by Charles DeLynn. He's another one of my favorite authors. I've been slowly reading through the Newford books in order, once I went and read like one of the most recently published first. Anyway, it's technically for the Canadian Challenge because he's Canadian, but it's really just because I miss my favorite authors. Then there's Gate of the Sun by Elias Khoury. This is for the Orbis Terrarum Challenge. It's set in Palestine. Palace of Desire by Naguib Mahfouz, another favorite author. See, this is what happens. I get cranky and then I decide I need to read books by all my favorite authors. This is the second in his Cairo trilogy. I read the first one 2 years ago and I loved it, and I've been reading other books of his since, but somehow I've never gotten around to finishing the trilogy. I'm going to count it for the Lost in Translation Challenge too. Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. I just started reading her this year with Tipping the Velvet, and it was so amazing, it just blew me away. So now I'm reading her books in published order, and I did Affinity back in July, so now it's time for Fingersmith. I was planning on spacing them out more so that they'd last longer. There are only 5 so far, but apparently I can't wait. Next up, A Time of Angels by Patricia Schoenstein. Don't you love that cover? I really like it. This is by a South African author, and it was one of the books that was really high up there in the poll I did to decide which South African novel I should read for Orbis Terrarum. So I put it on the list for my Spice of Life challenge because it deals with food. It's kind of like Water for Chocolate, magical realism stuff. Leaving Atlanta by Tayari Jones. This is a RIP challenge read, and it's told from the children's point of view during the Atlanta child murders. So, and finally, for fiction, we have Fledgling by Octavia Butler. Don't you love that cover? I think that's one of the best covers ever. It's also for the RIP challenge. I actually already read it, and it's amazing. But it's about a vampire. But not the way that I've read any other vampire book. And I need to stop talking about it, because otherwise I'll spend 20 minutes gushing. Non-fiction time. Sorry, I had to move the pile over there. Across the Wire by Luis Alberto Urrea. This is for the World Citizen Challenge. I read Urrea's novel The Hummingbird's Daughter earlier this year and really loved it. So this is about Mexicans on the border and what their life is like. Obviously not very happy. I'm Looking Through You by Jenny Boylan. This is for the RIP Challenge as well. It's a memoir by a transsexual woman. So I originally had it on my GLBT list, so I might count it for that instead. Anyway, but it's about her growing up in a haunted house. I love haunted houses. And then, for some reason, I felt the need to get a ridiculously huge nonfiction book. Yeah. Natasha's Dance by Orlando Figgs, also for the World Citizen Challenge. It's a cultural history of Russia. There was a Russian Lit Challenge. I think it was last year. I'm not sure. I think so, though. Anyway, and a lot of people read this, and I was really jealous. But my library had it, so I'm not really sure why I was jealous. So hopefully I'll get through it. It's huge, though. It's a good thing I love Russia. And then The Art of the Personal Essay, edited by Philip Lopit, which is also huge. I'm planning on hopefully being able to renew this the full amount of times and spacing it out. It's for the My Year of Reading Dangerously challenge. I decided to tackle 2 genres I didn't read a lot, poetry and essays. So obviously this is for the essay, and a lot of my friends in college were creative writing majors, and they all read the book and really liked it. So, Muhammad Yunus, Creating a World Without Poverty. This is for the World Citizen Challenge as well. I read Yunus's memoir last year and enjoyed it, so it should be interesting to read more about microcredit. And finally, The London Scene by Virginia Woolf. These are essays. Look, it's really small. It balances out my other huge books. And it's also for my year of reading dangerously. I love Virginia Woolf. I love her fiction. I've read Hermione Lee's awesome biography of her, but I haven't read much Virginia Woolf nonfiction, so it should be interesting. And there you go. That's my library loot. I bet that next week I'm only going to have like 3 books, because otherwise my bedroom is going to become a library. So I hope that you enjoyed me and my rambling about books, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye!